Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. After seeing Trump in office for 4 years and looking at his team, that I saw a lot of people coming and going, and a lot of people that I thought they shouldn't have been there in the first place. And I can give you a few names. One was, for instance, John Bolton, I don't know why he was over there. And then Mark Milley, I don't know why he was over there. And there's a few others that I will not mention because I have about 5 articles ready for you to make a point. After seeing all those guys coming and going, I was thinking, well, Trump said too many things and those things were not fulfilled. And I was wondering why the FBI doesn't start an investigation on ABC. And then why the Pentagon doesn't take the troops from Syria, as Trump said. And little by little, I came under the conclusion, good or bad, that these guys did not listen to him. So his own cabinet, secretaries of departments that supposedly he appointed, they were not following his orders, which they should. So if your boss tells you to do something, you do that thing. But in this case, the boss was telling you something and you were not doing it. Or maybe you were passing further, down the line, and people there in the bureaucracy were not doing it. That was a way of not doing what the president wanted. That was my interpretation and still is, that Trump was, from time to time, most of the time, just a cage canary. Cage, poor little Trump. No, I'm not talking about being poor little Trump, but it seems like, after all, he got, and I disagreed with all these decisions, he's got in his cabinet, I would call it cabinet, Omarosa. Jesus Christ. He's got Ivanka Trump. What were her credentials again? He got the Middle East senior advisor, Jared Kushner. Again, what were his credentials? And many others that I was thinking, why did you appoint these guys? Okay, part of family. Is this mafia? Well, they all do. Okay, whatever. Like Kennedy, JFK appointed Attorney General his brother. Somehow that was a-okay. But here, I saw, for instance, Barr. Why did he appoint Barr? The chief of FBI. And all these guys were like, who are these guys? And then he just fires them after 3, 4, 5 months, they're over. Red Rover. And the next one would, again, not do what he wants them to do. Now, I don't know if that was legal or not. They never said it wasn't legal. Saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this, and here is my resignation because this is not legal, and you ask me something that I can't do because it's illegal under the law. I've never heard anybody saying that. They just were fired and fired and fired. If you want to understand these weasels, I have about 5 examples of people who were in Trump's administration that now turned against him like it was a switch. So Trump is attacked now. He's been attacked from 2016 or 2015 actually, when he won the nomination. He was viciously attacked by they call it the swamp. Call it however you want. These people, they call it deep state. Call it however you want. But these guys who worked in his administration as his employees, because actually he hired them, he picked them, went through the process and all that. They now turn against him and they all call him crazy, stupid, and so on. Why did you accept to work for him in the departments that he appointed you when you knew he was like that? Don't tell me that I didn't know. I don't think so. I don't think that all these guys that I'm going to enumerate here did not figure out in the first 5 minutes that Trump is the way they now say he was. Therefore, for me, it's like these guys kept the job, worked for these guys, supposedly hated the guy because the guy was this and that, we find out now, but then they agreed to work for him. So for me, they are weasels, and they are actually, accomplices to Trump's evil agenda. Because if you had morals, you would say, you know what, sorry, I think you are like this. In the first 5 minutes, I figured it out, which I think they should be capable, and say, I'm not going to work. I don't want your nomination. Thank you very much for, giving your trust in me, trusting me, but I can't. You're a weasel. But no, they said, yes, pick me. Let's start with the first one here. I'm going to make all these articles. This first one comes from Politico. And this is what triggered me actually, because I think this is from today or something like this. I can find a date here, maybe on the left, right. I don't find it, but this triggered me. I said, Jesus Christ, because I read a lot of articles about this. I was like, come on. And here's the last one. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this video. Former Trump defense secretary brands him a security threat. Now? And you didn't know it then? And I'm quoting, it's just irresponsible action that places our service members at risk, places our nation's security at risk. Mark Esper. Mark Esper is a weasel. He's a security threat. He comes up now. He didn't figure it out then. He's a security threat. Come on. And he comes right now and take a on this guy. Next one. Barr. From the Insider. Barr said Trump is a troubled man. And when did you figure it out? The first 5 minutes when you met him, or now that you were activated? And this guy's been activated for about a year already. Who lied to the Justice Department and deserves to be prosecuted. Okay, he lied to the Justice Department. Was he indicted or convicted? You were the Attorney General. What are you, DOJ? What the hell was you? Department of Justice? What were you? He lied? I want to see the indictment. I want to see the conviction. Was he jailed? So what the hell are you talking about? Troubled man. And you worked for the troubled man for almost 2 years. Good job. What does that tell us about you, Barr? Your ability to figure out a person. Next, this weasel. Oh my God. This was like the hitman waiting for the right time. Whenever you see Trump speaking and this guy stands behind him, he just is waiting like for an order. Now. Boom. Pence says, and I'm quoting, history will hold Donald Trump accountable, end quote, for January 6th. Hey, mofo, first, you are trying to throw him under the bus. They attack you with those confidential papers, whatever you had, and now you feel that he's gonna get fucked. And you're afraid of that, and now you're kind of like, let's talk about January 6th, not about that. This guy is a weasel. Anyway, move on. This guy, we know this guy's crazy by definition. This guy, I don't know. When I heard that Trump picked this guy as a national security advisor, I was like, what the hell is going on with this guy? This is a deep doo-doo guy. We know who sponsors him. We know whose the thing is. This guy is just a weasel. But Trump said, well, if you want to scare your, how did he say it? I'm paraphrasing. Like other world's leaders, put this as a national security advisor and you scare them. So I don't know if it was just like a whatever he was. But Bolton, Trump's ex-national security advisor, so was appointed by Trump. He gave him a job. Calls for him to withdraw from the race. Why don't you support him? Well, because I have principles. I don't think so. Next one. Washington Examiner. Trump blasts Milley. Milley is the Army military chief of staff, and below 86 IQ, 100%. He's a general. So blast Milley after book suggested former president sought post-election coup. So Milley blamed Trump, or accused Trump of seeking a post-election coup. That means tyrant right there. This is the guy that again was appointed, if I remember correctly, again by Trump, or worked under Trump in his administration. Why didn't you say he's a crazy guy then? Why do you write in the book after Trump is out? And the last one is another weasel who was not appointed by Trump, who is the Lloyd Austin right here, defense secretary, this weasel. And he says, defending Milley, so Pentagon chief defends Milley after Trump book criticism. Of course, because they help one another. Trump is not in the club. He landed in. These guys thought they couldn't control him. He said no. And then what? Okay, you're over there. We do what we do best, and you're bow out. This correlates with something that it just confirmed, like the 50th confirmation. It wasn't not like the first confirmation. When Vladimir Putin, that evil guy, was interviewed, if I remember correctly, by some, was it French or who? I think it was, I can't remember who, but I tried to find it online again and I couldn't, but I will keep looking, because even if I don't remember the name of the video, but I will find it. He was interviewed and he was asked about who is he or Russia rooting for in the elections between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And Putin said, well, I can't say that. We don't support anybody that's not political. It's not our business. That's the American people to decide. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, but let me tell you this. Either one, it doesn't really matter. He said, I was under, or I met 5, I think, or 4 or 5 U.S. presidents. I think it was 4 U.S. presidents. If you take Clinton, you take what? Bush, you take Obama, and then you take Trump. So 4, but that would be the 4th anyway. So I'm missing someone. He wasn't under the first Bush. It was 1999 when he was appointed, December, I think. So it was not. It was Biden, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and Biden, but Biden came after that. So anyway, I think he was 3 or 4. Anyway, and he said, this is how it works. I figured it out. They come with good intention, these guys who promise during the election time, campaign promises and all that. And when they get in the office, he said, in about 1 or 2 days, those people with ties and sunglasses and with suit show up in the White House, and they basically tell him how things are ran here. That's what he said. I said, okay, thank you very much. I heard this before. I figured it out before. Thank you very much. And I think that's the way it is. There's some other interests that show up, which is probably the intelligence community and the military, and tell, hey, buddy, sit down here. This is what you need to do. Don't touch us. We're going to pick you up. Now, go over there and wave and point fingers and get Monica, okay? Monica, are you still here? Yes. Okay, so get Monica. So these are guys who work for Trump. These are guys who are not 20 years old or 15 or I don't know, something like this. You would say, well, maybe they were not that mature. They worked in the system. They were swimming in the little thing, crawling in the swamp. So they know who's who, what's what. And now they're activated, and none of them have anything good to say about Trump. Is that possible? Well, if you listen to them referring to another historical figure, yes. These guys make certain people historical figures as perfect, and some as pure evil. There's no such a thing. All right, we all have evil inside of us, and we all also have goodness inside of us. It's the proportion. Could be a little bit and a little bit, or could be and a little bit, but it's not pure evil. No, that's in the Bible, in the religion, and other realms. In the realms of ancient Greeks, no. Which is a different kind of realm. So, just to point out how these guys are just activated. All of these guys worked with him, worked for him, did not said squat while they were with him. They were all happy over there, and their tails were doing like this all the time. But now, they all come against him. How is that possible? I mean, if you knew all along that he's like that, why didn't you have the moral, and come and say, hey, he's like that, he's like that. Only after you get kicked out, then you're like, oh, he was like that. That doesn't show a character, does it? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.